Hey guys, I wanted to talk today about a problem that seems to be cropping up in Tarkov, or at least what is perceived as a problem by a large portion of the player base. While I've still been playing Tarkov, I have been a bit busy with some other games.
Why are you anchored on me? What in the fuck are you doing?
I have still been playing Tarkov and keeping up with everything that's been going on in the game environment. One of the big complaints I've been seeing more and more is rats and ratting in general and how it's bad for the game and all of these different arguing points. While I can understand the frustration of a player that just had a good round, they maybe got a PMC kill or two, they are loaded with loot, and as they're heading to extract, they get shot by an unseen PMC or even player scav that's been hiding in a bush and not doing anything all game. And now that PMC or player scav gets all of the great loot. Fact of the matter is that it is a viable play strategy, and more importantly, in a realistic, I'm going to use that word in quotes here, simulation shooter, it's one of the best strategies you can have for attaining loot in a safe manner. Tarkov is not Call of Duty, it's not Battlefield. The goal of each raid is not necessarily to get as many kills as you can, but to survive and maybe get what loot you need. Maybe it is to get one or two kills or a handful of kills if you're on the Punisher quest. This clip actually highlights me working on the Punisher quest, but even then, sometimes using ambush tactics or ratting, as a lot of people like to call it, is one of the best ways to get those kills, especially if you don't have the quick reflexes that some other people do, or maybe if you are genuinely just a bad shot. Now, I know it sounds like I'm kind of encouraging ratting or ambush tactics. I partially am. I'm not going to say that being a Chad and running full bore into a firefight is a bad way to play either. Play with what you're comfortable with. There are a few things that you have to change how you play now that ratting is becoming more meta, especially thanks to creators like Stankrat. Maybe instead of running full bore into a building, you still run in, but you check your corners. Check areas that you might not normally check. That's where a rat's going to hide. They're going to look for the obvious areas that no one actually looks for. In this clip, as you can see, I'm on the roof of a building. This PMC, who is VoIPing to me, thinks that I'm inside one of the houses. He ran right up to the house. If he had looked up, he would have seen me. Now, some people may say that ambush tactics are cheap or it's abusing a game mechanic with how scuffed the sound is in this game. I would actually arguing that being a Chad and running full bore into buildings actually is more of a quote unquote cheap way to play because you're abusing the terrible desync that this game has. You're actually abusing a ping or a network issue. Now let's talk real quickly on ways that you can actually flush out rats. Rats rely on being stationary until they need to take their shot and then moving and displacing as fast as they can. So if you're about to go into a building and you're worried about rats in dark rooms or dark corners, start packing in grenades. It only takes one or two grenades and it will cause rats to scatter, especially if they're not used to people throwing grenades near them. I've had a few rounds in factory where I've hid back in a corner because I'm waiting out for more PMCs to leave so I can do a quest, but someone lobbed a grenade, and had I moved or tried to displace, he would have been able to shoot me. But I held because I didn't think that the grenade was in range, and I still took damage, but the PMC moved on. I didn't die. The PMC moved on because he didn't think that I was there because he cleared it with a grenade. That is an opportunity to start expanding your own knowledge in the game on how to deal with a new strategy and meta. And that's all this is at the end of the day. This is a meta shift. We are moving from the age of constantly shift Wing going full bore, full auto with the M4s, the best recoil meta guns. Now we're going into a slower meta for the game. And the meta is going to shift really hard again here on the next wipe if we actually get the armor plate changes. I think the people that say that rats are killing Tarkov and that kind of rhetoric is just as bad as the people who 3 or 4 wipes ago were saying the Chad M4 meta is killing Tarkov. These are just different metas that we exist in. Some metas are better for some types of players, some metas are better for other types of players. It's learning to adapt to each new different meta that is going to be what makes you a better player. Not just in Tarkov, but in any game that you play where there is a competitive, quote unquote, meta. I'm not saying Tarkov is competitive because I really don't think it is. It's a survival game. I wouldn't count any survival game as a competitive game. Yes, I think right now quests are a bit more tailored to that slower rat style gameplay. And if you think about it, with how the quests are currently structured, that makes sense. I'm currently working on the Huntsman quest for Jaeger, where you have to kill Sturman with the M700. I was really excited to see that they changed which optic you needed, but I was a little disappointed that they increased the range that you have to kill him with a headshot for. But that now means that I have to get a rifle and go and find a sniping perch. Some people consider being a sniper being a rat. I really don't think it is, but I also don't think ratting is bad in general. I don't think being a Chad is bad in general. I think you should play to your strengths in the game. If you're at a situation where you have to kill PMCs and you get into a map and there's no PMCs that you can find, that means that they're probably ratting. So start thinking about, okay, if I'm going to ambush someone, where would I do it from? On Shoreline, I didn't think I'd actually get kills up on these roofs. I mostly have been coming over and doing it just trying to wait out a timer so I can leave because I got a mediocre spawn. On woods, sitting up on top of the netting in the forward operating base for the Yosek camp or the med camp, those are great places. I've had people walk by me, they don't look up. Interchange, there's different shopping racks that you can get on top of. In customs, you can get up on those garages near the RUAF extract. One of the things about survival games is you have to be observant of all of your surroundings. That includes looking up or checking bushes that are close where someone with a keter might try to leg you from. Sometimes it's real hard. Woods is full of bushes, so you have to go for what the most obvious ones are. Otherwise, all you can really do is play to the best of your abilities with what you can. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on that. Thanks, guys. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments below. Hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Take care.